Okay. Looks like audio's up. My name is George Simons. I'm one of the founders of SoloSuit, and today, thanks to our welcome to our webinar. Thanks for attending. We're going to be going over some basics on how to win your debt collection lawsuit, how to get it fully resolved. And I'm going to go ahead and dive into things. Just going to make sure everything's working all right. I'm just going to go over a couple of the basics first. One thing to know is when you are sued for a debt, you get the complaint and summons in the mail, and then you have to respond by filing an answer document in court. That's what most people use SoloSuit to do. So you can go to solosuit.com. We can get your answer document filed for you. Next up, if you're in a credit card debt lawsuit that has a clause for arbitration in the credit card agreement, you can take a look at your credit card agreement. You can look for an arbitration clause. If there's one, then you can use our motion to compel arbitration service to get that motion to compel arbitration filed. And you can leverage the arbitration clause against the collector by doing that. And then, third little tip here is that if you want to settle your debt lawsuit, you can use our service SoloSettle to make an offer to settle the debt and get a nice, tidy resolution on your debt lawsuit. All right, so that's just a brief overview. This webinar is not at our normal time that we've usually had webinars. We usually do them on Wednesday. We just thought we'd try out Friday afternoon, mostly because I was traveling this week. But happy to take questions if there are any. If not, we can kind of end things a little early. But let's see if anyone out there has any questions. If you have a question you want to ask, let's go ahead and put that into the YouTube chat, and we'll see what we can do to get you an answer. All right, so so those are the basics on how to resolve your debt lawsuit. Most of the time here is just reserved for Q&A. So if you have a question, just go ahead and put it in the chat. Nobody's asked a question yet, but happy to hang out here for another minute, see if anyone has any questions. Alrighty, I'm not seeing any questions coming in, so I think we're gonna go ahead and end things. A little early, but glad we could give a brief overview of how to resolve your debt lawsuit. Again, main steps. You get sued, just go ahead and file an answer document. And then if you looks like we had a question come in here from Sarah. How long after you receive a complaint is the trial? Great question, Sarah. Let's see. So, and oftentimes that depends on the state, right? So usually when you get a complaint and summons, uh, you'll have 14 to 30 days to respond, depends on what state you're in. In Utah, for example, where I am, it's 21 days to respond. And then once you file the answer document in court, then the plaintiff, they might proceed into discovery. So they might send you a request for interrogatories or a request for admissions or interrogatories. They might also do a couple things before that. They might file a motion for summary judgment, asking the judge to make sure that you win, make sure that the plaintiff wins. And then, as far as when the trial will be, sometimes it's only scheduled after discovery happens. Sometimes some courts, quite a few courts actually will schedule a hearing when you have a summons, when the complaint is filed, to schedule a hearing. I believe California does that. California, where a lot of our customers are, schedules hearings for about almost a year out. So once the complaint's filed, they might schedule a hearing for a year from that date. In other states, it's a lot sooner. I haven't really seen many states, if any, do it within a shorter time period than a month. It seems like the most common time period is maybe 3 to 4 months. And usually, just a note, usually a trial in this case, in these kinds of cases, it's called a hearing instead of a trial. And you might have a pre-conference, a pre-trial hearing. You might have a pre-trial conference. Those would be meetings between the two parties and the judge. And they'll usually talk about the schedule of the trial. But oftentimes, you might have an event called a hearing that doesn't sound that important, but usually the hearing is actually going to be the trial. So I just want to keep that in mind. All right. If there aren't any other questions, we're just going to wrap things up. Just reviewing those basics again. You just want to file an answer document if you're in a credit card debt lawsuit, which a lot of our customers are. You want to check out and see if you can do a motion to compel arbitration if there's an arbitration clause in your contract. And then you want to send an offer to settle using our tool SoloSettle and get the debt resolved that way. All right. Thanks for tuning in, folks. Good to see everybody. Best of luck. We'll do another webinar next week. We're usually doing them on Wednesdays around 5 p.m. Mountain Time. All right. Take care.